Hello and welcome back. It's been a while since I made a video. I've been busy, and some of you may recall a few months ago I found a ride-on lawnmower on the side of the road that someone had thrown away, and it was just too good to pass up, so I brought it home. It's been parked in the yard ever since. Maggie's been enjoying trying to tell me what was wrong with it and barking into it and hunting around it, but I started working on it without starting to film, and then I was like, oh, I need to make a video about this. Anyway, I've stopped, went to go and get the camera, charged it up, so now that's where we are. Alright, let me get this turned around. Alright, so I pulled it into the yard, into the garage, into my workshop. The first thing you'll notice is that the two front wheels have differing opinions about where they want to go. So that's something that we would need to get fixed. And as I told you, I already started working on it. I pulled off the top engine cover there. I pulled off the fuel tank, and I've taken off the cover and that sort of thing. And just as I was starting to pull the carburetor off, I was, we need to stop. We need to film this for you guys. So that's where I'm at. I'm going to continue to remove the carburetor because, as you can see, let's see if I can zoom in on it. It is exceptionally dirty on the outside, and I don't know if you can see that little shiny bit there. That's water. So I'm definitely expecting it to be bad, very bad. That's the fuel line that was connected on, not connected to anything. That's all rotten, rotted out and everything. And the electrics are, as you can see, an absolute nightmare and a mess. So I don't know if I'm going to get this thing to run again. I don't know. If I do, that'll be fine. That'll be good. It'll be a lot. It'll be great. I would like to be able to attach a tow ball to the front there, just to use this to move my John boat in and out of the yard, because at my age it's starting to get really heavy pulling it by hand. One of the immediate issues is, there's the original sticker. It came with a Briggs & Stratton Intech whatever 18.5 overhead valve, which means 18.5 horsepower. The motor that's on it right now says Craftsman 12.5 horsepower IC gold. So it's quite obvious that this engine has been changed out at some stage, or something. Yeah, we're going to figure it all out, but let's do that together, see what we can do. Alrighty, I've got you guys on the tripod now, and I also have my big fan going because it's still, even though it's fall in Florida, autumn, it's incredibly hot and very humid. Yesterday evening we had 1.5 inches of rain in the space of about 30 minutes, and it's very humid. Alright, so there's the carburetor. I hope you guys can see, because I can't see. I haven't. Let me just excuse the vibration on the camera while I turn that around, and then I can see what you see. Alrighty, so there's the carburetor. Not a very big carburetor, not very complicated, but let's see what we can do about getting that fixed up and sorted out, and if it's going to make the motor run. What I can tell you is, if I turn it by hand, it does turn, and it does feel like it has right there, some pretty good compression. So on that side of things, I think it's going to be okay. Yeah, you can see how I'm sweating here. Right, I've brought you up onto the workbench. There's the carburetor. The first thing I'm going to do is take the bowl off, and let's have a look what's going on inside there. And see what it looks like. I'm expecting it to be pretty dirty and ugly, so let's see. Oh, just give it a tap with a screwdriver handle there to loosen it up, and off she comes, and oh my god, I don't know if you can see inside there. That is just terrible. Look at the flaking rust and crap. Let's look at that, just coming out of there. And it stinks, man. Oh my god, that stinks bad. Alright, so what I'm going to do is get another one of these little plastic trays. This is the lid from a takeout meal, and I generally keep them so that I can put all the bits and pieces in there. There's the float. Let's pull the float pin out. Pull the float out. There's the little needle. Now, something that I need to look at and that I'm remembering to do is there's the needle for the needle and seat, and as you can see, it doesn't have the little rubber on the needle itself, so the rubber that it's going to seal up against is going to be inside the carburetor in the hole. So when I do clean it, yep, I can see it there. I need to make sure that I don't blow that out, throw it away, or otherwise discard of it, so that I can't make it use it again or make it work again. It's got a couple of little adjustment screws here, and the main jet goes down the center there. So let me see if I can find my special screwdriver that I use for pulling the jets out. This long skinny one, they normally fit down that hole pretty good. Uh-oh, that's not feeling like it's going to want to come out. So let's have a look, see, a little bit of a carb cleaner, spray it in there just quick. I have a feeling that the main jet is already gone. No, not. It's not. This nut that holds the bowl on screws into there and closes the bottom, so the main jet is that one that's in there, and then above that would be the emulsion tube, but that is not feeling like anything that wants to ever come out of there again. So spray that out, get a little bit of cleaning going, and then what I'm going to do is put some PB Blaster down there to try and see if I can stop it or kill the rust. I don't know if I'll be able to get in from the top down the emulsion tube, but I'm going to try. A little bit of that down there, a little bit of that in there, and I'm going to let it sit for a while and just see if I can. In fact, that PB Blaster is not even going through, so that's showing me that the main jet is completely blocked up. It's just sitting there making a little dam. So no, it is slowly going down, but definitely not what it needs to do. So I'm gonna let that sit for a little while before I try and force it, because I don't want to break the jet off or anything, or strip it out if I don't have to. I do have another carburetor here that looks very similar, but as you can see, it is in just as bad a condition, if not worse. Slightly different. I don't know if it's the same size, but I mean, look inside there. That is just crap and crud. So I don't know if I can make it work again or not. That one is completely rusted up. That would be the choke, and it doesn't even turn. It's rusted solid. So I might be able to use some parts from this carburetor on the other one, but I'm going to just keep that as a backup and figure something out. Alright, so it did a quick scratch out and a clean out of the inside of the float bowl. I'm not seeing any holes rusted right through it, but that is the amount of crud that came out of it. So as you can see, a lot of rust, a lot of old fuel that has gone really bad. So I'm not going to hold out a whole lot of hope that I'm going to get this this carburetor working again, or that mower running. And the thing is, I'm not going to be spending a single cent on getting it running. If it's not something that I have in my stash, or you know, bits and pieces that I already have, I'm not going to be spending any money, because there isn't any spare to go around right now. Okay, so if I can't fix it with what I have and whatever, then it's just going to get put back where I found it, out on the street, and that's what it is. Alright, so while we're waiting for the PB blaster to hopefully loosen up the jet in that carburetor, I just decided to see whether I can actually make this lawnmower run or not. If it's not going to run, if it feels like it's got compression, but if it's not going to run, then obviously I'm wasting my time out the gate. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull out the spark plug, and let's see what we're going to do. Alright, the spark plug doesn't look too bad. Let's see if we're going to have spark. Hope I can put it in a way that you guys will be able to see. I'm going to do this in one take. Where are we at? Alright, just bear with me. Sorry, I'm doing this back to front. Alright, so there's the spark plug. Let's turn it so you guys will be able to see if there's a spark or not. Let's see what we can do. It needs to be grounded, and you need to look right in there. I'm going to spin the motor, and let's see. I just need to touch that to ground. Alright, I'm not sure if you can see that. It definitely looks like it's got spark. Yep, looking at the camera, you guys can see that. Alright, so now that we know it's got spark, you know what's next. We're going to make it run. It's spinning over, and it's got spark. So what we need to do is, I've got a little bit of gas here, fuel. It's mixed with two-stroke, but we give it just a tiny little squirt right into the piston, into the cylinder. You can see how rusted up that spark plug is on the outside. This thing has not run or worked in many years. I think this has stood in the back of somebody's garden for a very long time. So now we'll put the spark plug lead back on. What I have done is the electrics are an absolute nightmare, so I've actually just disconnected this wire. This is the wire that kills it grounds out the coil, so the engine will die. I've disconnected it from where it goes into there, and that's why it's giving me spark. If this engine fires up, I can't shut it off, but because there's only just a drop of fuel in the cylinder, it's not going to run for more than a second or two. So fingers crossed, let's see what it does. Awesome. Whoa, Smoky Joe. That's probably the first time it's run in many years. Alright, so that means it sounded okay. It means this is going to run as long as the starter's working, As long as I can get the fuel sorted out, and then of course the electrics, which it doesn't need to be as complicated as it used to be. I can do a very basic electrical circuit, but it means that this is going to run, and if I can straighten the wheels, and once it's running, I'll be able to figure out and to see whether the drive to the back wheels is going to work or not. If that doesn't work, I'm not spending money on it, it's going back on the street. If the drive to the back wheels can be made to work, then I'm going to have a tractor that I can use to move my boat around. Alright, let me figure out what I'm going to do next. Alright, so what I did is, off camera, I've just cleaned the worst of the dirt off the float bowl and the outside of the carburetor. What I'm going to try is one last squirt of PB Blaster in there, and I'm going to do a Hail Mary kind of, hopefully I can get that main jet to free up. If I can't, well, it is what it is. Let me show you what I'm doing. I'm going to use a little bit of heat. I need pliers to open that up, because the little opening up knob on that thing is long gone. I got this for free, so can't complain. But I'm just thinking, if I add a little bit of heat to that, it might just break the rust or whatever, and get it loose. If I don't get it loose, I'll do try and see if I can get it out just by cleaning it in the ultrasonic cleaner. But I'm not going to hold my breath on that. Let me just get that shut off properly before I burn the shop down. Alright, so I'm going to try this screwdriver. It's a little bit bigger. Let's see. Come on. She's not moving. And I have a feeling someone else has been in here before and tried to get it out and abandoned it, because the little screwdriver slot in the top here is completely mushed out. So that's not coming out. I guess I could try using a drill and an easy out or something, but then I don't have another main jet, and so that's not really going to help much. So I think what I'm going to do is just put this in my ultrasonic parts cleaner over there. I've already got it heating up. I'm going to put all the parts in. I've set the temperature to go up to 60 degrees Celsius, and I'm going to let it stew for probably at least an hour, and let's see if that does anything to open up those channels, those ports, especially there through the main jet. If it does, maybe we get lucky, but I'm really not holding out a lot of hope for that. So let's get that in there and see what we can do. I first want the little basket. I'm not going to put that in. I just want to use the little basket for the small bits and pieces, and that'll be the idle jet and the needle. That pin's clean enough. I'll put the float bowl in there, and then I need, oh, that's hot, not really, not too hot. Pull that up, and I'm going to drop the carburetor in there, and I don't know if you can hear that, but it's buzzing. Let's see if that's going to do anything. to bring that back. The timer only goes for 30 minutes. As soon as it beeps out that it's done, I'll set it for another 30. Then I'll pull it out and bring you guys back. Alrighty. Let's see how the stew's doing. We've had this in here for a little over an hour now. Oh, that's all mixed up. Oh, that's hot. Whew. It's actually showing it went up to 70 degrees. Let me turn this fan off. I think that's going to make the sound better for you guys. Alright. Whew, that's hot. There we go. That's out. Well, that is hot. Alright. Just kill the power on that so that it can cool down. Oh wow. It's actually really hot, but I'm going to hold it like that. It's actually really amazing how clean that ultrasonic cleaner gets this carburetor. Alright, I'm just going to take it outside. I'm going to spray it out with some carb cleaner and stuff just to get rid of the cleaning stuff, because it is a little bit it's a little bit tough on it, so I want to make sure I get it all off, blow it out with the compressor, and let it cool down because it's actually damn hot. Alright, I've rinsed this all out with carb cleaner, blown it out with the compressor. While I was blowing it out with the carb cleaner, I actually sprayed down into that main jet, and I saw it coming out into the body of the carburetor. So I'm really hoping that it cleaned it out, but there's only one way to know whether it's going to be open or not, whether it's going to work, and that's to put it together and test it. So let's put this carburetor back together again and see what happens. So there's the needle, and looking down the hole, the little rubber seat is still there. So let's stick that down in there. In you go, come on. There we go. Put the pin in. Now, if I blow into there with it over like that, air should move through. And if I turn it over, nothing. So needle and seat is working. The bottom gasket that seals the bowl got a little bit enlarged in the parts cleaner, and that's not a good thing, but I'm hoping it's going to seal back up again and be alright. And there's a little gasket on there to seal the nut to the bottom, so let's see if this is going to actually seal up or not. Screw that in, and 7/16, just nip it slightly. Then we have these two screws. This one is just the idle set screw, so we'll just turn that one in and adjust it to a reasonable spot about there. And then this one, that's the idle jet, I believe. Not sure, but there's another little screw in there. I never noticed that until it was clean. I wonder if we should take that out and just check whether it's clean. I've just noticed there's another little brass or something screw there. Let's see. There we go. It's coming out. I don't know what this does. Let's see what it is. That looks like a little emulsion tube. It's got tiny little jets there, and they're blocked. So let's see if we can open those up. There we go. Now what I'll do is I want to get just a single bristle off a brush and just push it through there. I can see that's open. I'll turn that bristle around, it's a bit messed up. Yep, that's going in there. No, that's no good. Gosh darn. Let me rather get a wire brush. Just want to make sure that that little hole is properly opened up. And where that goes in, I'm not sure where it goes to, but let's... Yeah! Alright, note to self, remember to close eyes or point it in a different direction when you're spraying carb cleaner, because damn, that stuff burns when it goes in your eye. Ish. Let's just give that one more squirty in there. Alright. Well, I'm glad I noticed that. I have a feeling that's probably going to be the idle jet, because it looked like a bit of an emulsion tube going there. Who knows? And then this is the idle mixture or whatever screw. The more you back it out, the more fuel it will give. So let's screw it all the way in, and then I think back it out about 2 turns. That's all the way in. Half. 1, 1.5, 2, a little bit for luck. Alrighty, so carburetor is put back together. The choke's working. Sorry, the throttle's working. The choke's working. I'm going to bring you back, point you at the tractor, and let's see if we can get it together. Alright, back at the mower. Let's get all of that done. So a couple of things I will have to connect up. First of all is the choke. That's just that little wire there, and I think that actually goes in like that. And then we have the throttle and the throttle return spring, so let's hook those in like that, and there, that goes in like that, and then the choke goes in that little groove there. Right, and that's how that goes. So now I have an assistant. She's trying to tell me something. I think she's trying to tell me that the electrics are off-ride. What you see, mate? Yeah, I know. Yeah, that wire, I pulled it off because I need to be able to run this machine. That's why it's off. Yeah. The spark plug. No, the spark plug's working. We ran it already, remember? Yeah. Just for a second, I know, but check it out. Alright, so I put that little screw in, and that's just going to lock the carb into place. This is going to be a little bit of an interesting exercise to see whether the carb is actually going to supply fuel to the motor or not. Well, no, to the engine. This is an engine, the motor is electric. Ask Elon. Alright, so that's there. The throttle is controlled over here by a governor, and that's controlled with weights and springs that based on the rotation of the engine. Alright, so now I'm not going to put anything else on, no air cleaner or anything. What I do think I'm going to do is put some fuel down in there to fill up the bowl. Then we can fire it up using the battery pack, and I'll have the wire that connects here to the grounding just so that I can touch it on the body if I need to shut the motor off for whatever reason. I'm going to set that up and bring you guys back. Alrighty, so first thing is let's put some fuel down there into the carburetor. I don't know, we'll see. Now I have the wire here. If I push that wire in, it'll ground out the spark. So now all I need to do, Maggie, I need you out from under there, please. Come. Good girl. Now all I need to do, theoretically, is touch this to the ground, the chassis of the tractor. Let's just plug that in and just make sure everything is going to do. Alright, so if I unplug that, now it should fire up. It might need more fuel, who knows. That fuel pipe is full, which makes me think now that the carburetor is full. Let's do this. Let's give it just a bit of a squirt in the carb through the carburetor right into the intake manifold, and let's see. Let's get it to fire up and see whether it's actually going to then draw fuel out from the carburetor or not. Fire it up, it wanted to go. Let's do a little bit more fuel. I have a feeling that this carburetor is not going to play with us. Let's try that. Yeah, it's only running on the fuel that I'm squirting down the manifold. It's not drawing fuel from the carburetor, so I have a feeling this carburetor is toast. Ah, that's a pity. Yeah, it's only running on the fuel that's coming in from the manifold that I'm squirting in, so that's actually, that almost took. Yeah, wants to with choke. Don't want to overheat the starter. She wants to. I have a feeling the starter's getting a little bit warm. I have a feeling that it's that's full throttle, and if we choke it, I've been choking it with my finger, I have a feeling that the it's going to run, but it's not going to run well. That other little brass cap that I found is probably still dirty on the inside. Oh, that's nasty. And that sucked some fuel through. Let's top that up. I'm going to change over here a little bit. Move this lead around so I can work from this side and see. Can you guys see? Let's move that around. Yeah. See what you guys can see, what I can see. I just don't want you guys too close, because if this thing blows up, I don't want to mess up the camera. Alright, there we go. That's a bit more fuel in there. I have a feeling there. Let's see what happens now. That's looking more promising. That looked a lot more promising. A little bit too much fuel now. Don't catch fire. Well, she wants to. A certain amount of fuel is getting through, but just not the right amount. So I think what I need to do here is let's pull that carburetor off. Pull it apart. I'm going to take that little brass screw out again and give it another go in the ultrasonic cleaner and see what she does then. Choke on. That is sounding actually pretty damn good. And I suppose important thing to do now would actually be to check if this thing has any oil in it or not. Because if it doesn't have any oil, I'm about to destroy this motor. I guess we'll figure that out, hey? Alright, so choke. adjust that idle in a whole lot more. Yeah, that's not good. And then it's not running without choke. So if it's not running without choke, if it needs to be choked, it means that I need to reduce the amount of air because it's not getting enough fuel. So what if we take that out a bit more instead of in? Let's put some more fuel in the carburetor. This is all just trial and error. Me screwing around, messing with stuff, spending my Saturday afternoon messing with stuff in my workshop, and oh, that needs to go down. That's a little bit too up there. Just messing around with stuff and seeing what happens. That's getting quite hot already. Alright, so I was adjusting it on the actual throttle lever on the machine now, and it's not running without choke. So, alright, let's fix this camera. There. I'm going to call it here. What I'll do is take the carburetor off, open it up, strip it down again. That little port there, get that cleared out properly. I'll probably cook it in the ultrasonic cleaner for another hour, see how that goes, and then I have a feeling that this carburetor is going to come back. I'm not convinced. I think there's about a 70% chance that it's going to work, but we're having fun. That's all it's about. Let's check oil. Let's see if there's any oil in there. Oh my god, that's not oil. You see that white? There's a lot of water in there. Alright, so while the carburetor is cooking, I'm going to drain that milk out of the engine and put some proper oil in, because the last thing I want to do is, if I can get it to run, is to destroy the bearings and destroy it because I ran it without oil. Alrighty. Maggie's going to help me. Are you going to help me? Okay. We're going to do this. We're going to fix it. Okay. Good girl. Alright. I'll bring you guys later. Alright. It's been a while. Other stuff happened. But the carburetor has been cleaned one more time. And I'm just going to make sure we have some fuel in here. Yep, we got fuel. And now, let's see what happens. Turn the battery pack on. Alright, so she started up. Oh, I did. I drained the oil and I put fresh oil in the engine. Let me show you what this looks like. It is pretty nice. A white milky soup that came out of there. Creamy goop. Anyway, I want to give this one more try and just see what's going on. If this doesn't work, it's going to the street. I'm not going to spend money on this thing to try and make it work. I had it cooking for another hour, and if it doesn't want to fire up, let's see. Let's do that. looking sort of promising. And she's out of fuel, but she's running. It looks like it's working good, and my little can is out of fuel as well, and it's starting to get dark outside, so I'm going to call this a night. I will probably continue with it tomorrow, and we'll see how things go. I might make it a part 2 to see if we can get the electric sorted out, and maybe a part 3 to see if it's going to drive or not. But thanks for watching. Get the next one up as soon as I can, as I get time to work on this thing, because tomorrow I have to cut the grass and all sorts of things first, and who knows what else, chores. Thank you. Right, so I was going to make a part 2 and maybe even a part 3 of getting the yard tractor, lawnmower, hopefully use something to push my boat around in the yard with video. But I started off this morning, yesterday was Saturday when I filmed the other stuff and finally got the motor running, and today is Sunday, and I started messing with the electrics, and to be absolutely honest, I have no idea what I was doing, but just using a little bit of common sense and figuring it out, I managed to get the electrics sorted out. It has several safety features where if you're not sitting on the seat, it won't start, and if you get off the seat, it'll cut out unless the park brake is on, and all sorts of crazy things. I removed all of those because none of those are necessary for what I need to use this for. And then the next thing was figuring out if it was going to actually drive, whether the wheels were going to turn or not. So I was going to do a video on getting all of that done, but because I had no idea what I was doing, I wasn't going to waste your time watching me playing with wires and things. It made no sense. Anyway, I'm going to put the camera down and give you the ending of this video, just because this is how we're going to do it. Alright, let me see. Get this lined up. Something like that. And let's see. She's alive, and that, I don't know if you can see it, I'll bring you inside where the light's a bit better. That is the key that starts it, because it never had a key, but that's what starts it now. So yep, it's working. The next thing I'm going to do is put a tow ball on it, on the front end, and it's got 6 gears, which is way more than the one that I currently has, my lawnmower. And I think in the low gears it's going to have enough torque that it'll actually move the boat, but that'll be wait to be seen, or remains to be seen. But in the meantime, I'm super chuffed that I've got it going. It all works, everything's good. I changed the oil again, flushed the engine out. Even more milkiness came out, but now the oil is clean and it's good. It doesn't have an air filter in it. I wasn't going to spend money on an air filter. I'll be driving it in the yard. I'm not cutting grass with it, so I don't think an air filter is necessary. And even the tires are holding air. It's crazy. It's going to be a good toy. Alright guys, thanks so much for watching. Yeah, unexpected ending on this one, but a good one. Thank you so much. Bye bye.